Can you do it? Hey y'all, it's me, your fave Jazz on Fire. And first of all, let me tell y'all a funny story. So this is in Creative Color. I'm your host. And if you're seeing my face, this means it's fourth Sunday and you are locked in with us for another episode. Very funny story. We went live at 3:30 p.m., but obviously we did not go live at 3:30 p.m. because it was not streaming. So hopefully y'all are still here. Y'all are still locked in, but we're going to hop right on in. I've got a beautiful, talented guest, the lovely Tamala Baldwin, who we're actually going to go live with now. So Tamala, come on in the room.
Hi.
Very, very funny. Like, y'all, we were just chatting it up for a good 30 minutes. And I mean, it's like, it was very much exclusive. Y'all can't get into this because, yeah, we were having a grand old time. But we're so happy you all could join us. This is in Creative Color, as I said. And I just said this was the personification of art versus the artist. So excited to have y'all here. So excited to get into it with Tamla. So I'm going to run down the bio because we late. Tamala Baldwin is an executive producer and director who has been creating narrative, branded, and documentary work for the past 8 years. So she's got credits in her belt for episodic television, including HBO, Disney, ABC Television, and Hulu. So at the beginning of 2023, she wrote and directed her first Christmas film, Blended Christmas, which is what we're going to be highlighting today, which is scheduled for release this week on Christmas Day. So open your gifts, get your Christmas dinner, and turn on the TV when it drops on BET Plus because you cannot miss it. So she has also produced a slate of branded work as a lead producer while dabbling in live production for the hybrid docuseries Hair Tales and associate producing a spiritual masterclass project for Mindful. So resume stacked, absolutely stacked. She is also the writer and co-director of the hit digital series Bubbly Brown Sugar, which is currently streaming on Tubi. Haven't seen it, you've got to tap in because it is absolutely amazing, like 1,000%. And so with the focus on romance, real life drama, and a hint of magical realism, Tamala strives to transform the world one story at a time because everyone deserves their happily ever after. And when she's not creating stories, she is usually on an island chasing sea turtles. My God, what a bio.
Thank you
Welcome
so
in,
much.
Tamala. How are you feeling?
I feel on top of the world.
I love it. I
Rah!
love it. That's just like the perfect holiday spirit. And of course, I always say it's fourth Sunday, and I know you already got your word, but I would be remiss without giving, props to the ultimate creator. So we're gonna jump into prayer and we're gonna jump in because again, 30 minutes late, but it's okay because better late than never, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Heavenly Father, we thank you for being the ultimate creator, for
Yes.
having the entire world in your hands and still lending pieces of it to us to create and tell the stories that you have blessed us with. God, we thank you that as we approach this holiday season, this Advent season, that we remember the true gift that you have given us. And one of those gifts is creativity and the ability to create. So, whether this reaches one person or 1 million, we will give you all the glory. And I pray that this is soul food for someone hungering for you or to create. And either way, we will give you all the glory. Amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
All
Amen.
right. So I always like to ask, who you are when you are not creating. And I love that you kind of sprinkled that in there because, like, we love a good island moment. And so, aside from dwelling on islands and chasing sea turtles, what is your favorite non creative thing to do? And I mean, like, complete opposite side of the brain action.
I am a living black mermaid. I absolutely love to be in the water so much that I have my scuba diving license. So if
Ooh,
you ever want to go scuba diving, I can take you. I wouldn't advise
let's do
it, but I
it.
could. I just love being in the water. Yeah.
I love that. I too love being in the water, so definitely empathize with that. I feel like it's pretty interesting because this we'll get into this as well. But Blended Christmas is a film, family dynamic. We're getting into all the things, but it's set on Christmas. And so, with that in mind, why not like a family holiday vacation movie? Why Christmas instead?
That was, I guess, kind of strategic. I wrote Blended Christmas for myself, as a way to, get over a heartbreak. But I also knew that networks are always looking for Black Christmas movies. I could go like any network, whether it's All Black, BET, Lifetime, they're looking for content. And so I thought it was a good move for me as a newer writer to write a holiday film.
I love that. And I think that's free game because it's like, okay, if you're trying to break into the industry and
Yeah.
your projects aren't making it, make it Christmas. Just
Yes,
take
yes,
it.
yes.
I love that.
And that's also my lane. Like, you know, they're also looking for thrillers, but I like to watch horror. I like to watch thrillers, but when my imagination is at work, it's me and God, and I just like to think about beautiful, happy, loving, divine things. So,
Love that. And so, with that being said, because I peeped one thing about it, I'm always recognizing the believers in the room and the creative
mhm,
space. God is threaded throughout your projects,
yes.
and I feel like in the industry where things can be very polarized and that can be touchy, what does that look like for you to make sure that that is threaded? Like you get some supernatural, you get some spiritual, you're gonna see these angels, you're gonna hear me drop a gem about God. Like, what does that look like for you?
So God is my everything, my best friend, the lover of my life and my soul. And I would not be even writing if not from a relationship with God. And so it is so important to me to include my faith and the divine in this process because it's like ideas don't come from like the mind. Well, they can, but the way I write, my ideas are inspired. And it's like, where does that inspiration come from? It comes from the part of us that is most connected from God, right? And so I always want to include that element in my writing. But I also don't want to make people feel ostracized because it may be, too like in your face. So I try to include God in a more personal aspect. So we're impersonal as of what it's been like for me. So I like to like I have prophetic dreams. I have moments where I've actually had visions and experiences. So I like to include that element of it and also the themes of what God is to me, which is love, forgiveness, patience, understanding, tolerance. All those things are part of my work.
I absolutely love that. And I feel like as a fellow believer, even before you mentioned that, and like I knew that this was an intentional thread for you, I picked up on it because I'm watching and I'm like, even in Bubbly Brown Sugar, which is like romance, magical realism, I'm like, is that it's I know that ain't what I think it is. Like this, I like
Yes, yes.
so I think like with any project in any genre or anything, your audience and who you're looking to reach and like who needs to hear it is going to hear it. So I think amazing job with how you've been kind
Amen.
of threading that through that for sure.
Thank you so much for saying that. Like for real, I really appreciate you saying that because it is a really big part of my work and like my ministry. So thank you.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so I know I mentioned that we partied a little bit with Tamala at the almost Christmas extravaganza. Y'all, we had a blast. I'm taking that food. We had what was it? Martingale cognac. Like
Yes,
we had a
yes.
blast. It was truly a blast. We had to talk back. We got to talk with some of the actors who you're gonna see next month. Lamar K. Chesney, he's gonna be here. Like y'all, I mean, just stacked. And so we we chatted briefly on the carpet, and you
Yes.
talked about how this film Blended Christmas, you're actually surprised that this was the one that was picked up, or at least picked up first. And I want to know why is that? And were there other projects that you like felt like would have, or you thought would have been picked up first, or maybe that you wanted to be picked up first?
So I wrote Blended Christmas as a personal self-healing tool. At
Mm,
my age, if I ever were to get married, I'm going to be most likely a bonus mom.
okay.
And I had this fear, like, oh my gosh, what if I get married and like the children don't like me, or like there's, the ex-wife doesn't like me. And I wanted to release that fear because I didn't want to manifest that in my life. So I wrote the ending that I wanted to experience, which is a harmonious, happy family. And so, because it was so personal to me, that's why I was kind of surprised because I was like, I kind of wrote this. Of course, I write things, to also shock them, but it was a very personal, therapeutic project. That's why I was kind of like, really, God, this one's gonna be the first
Really, because one thing about him is intentional. He's like this personal and very deeply intimate project is going to touch somebody else. Somebody else needs to hear this.
one.
I love
Amen.
how he works. He real.
Amen.
He be And so with that, I think as creators, we hold dearly, like very tightly to our stuff. I think about the quote that was circling around. It's like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff. And
Yes.
so with that, and being that this project was so deeply personal for you, I'm pretty sure working with the network for the first time, like there were some things that you had to tweak, change, maybe even give up. What did that look like for you? Without, I mean, give us the tea, but without, getting in trouble with BNT, without getting in trouble with
Of course. So I want to say, this production was produced by Triumphant Pictures, and BET came on and bought it after they produced
Okay.
it. So my interaction was, thank you so much to Triumphant Pictures because they saw my script and they gave me notes and they said, okay, let's do it. And so as a new writer, though, there was a learning curve for me, because as an independent filmmaker, I do whatever I want with if I raise the money and I write it, I'm doing whatever I want, whenever I want it, how I want to do it. But with this, I had to compromise or like have a partner. And I've never really had that before, at that level. Of course, when you're doing branded work, the client always, gets to say, but with a creative project that has my name on it, it's usually whatever I want to do. So there was definitely a learning curve for sure, with that, because this is my ministry and my service to God, and so it is personal. Um, but yeah, I definitely learned so much with that because I'm sure next time when the budget's even bigger, there'll be
What?
more like, okay, more compromising, communicating, and like partnership aspect of it. So I
I
learned.
love that. And we're absolutely going to speak it into existence. Bigger budgets, more
Yes,
projects.
yes,
This might have been the first, but it's not the last. All of
yes.
yeah. Yeah. And I see some folks are dropping comments as you watch live. Those comments can come to us. So if you have questions, if you're interested, if you're like, Jazz on Fire, listen, we want to know this. You asked this, but we want to know this. Please drop it in the comment section and we're going to get into it with Tamala. So
Yes.
I want to know what makes this Christmas film different from others?
Well, this is about a couple that lost they thought they lost their chance at love. And so it's about spinning the block, like Ashanti and Nelly. And
Romantic.
romantically, yes, romantically.
Okay, okay.
And just, because, it's also about blended families and about like love. And it's really about second chances. And as I'm getting older, when I was younger, I thought life was so black and white. Like you make a mistake, if it doesn't work out, it's over. But as I'm getting older, that's not the case. And so this is about second chances and true love and also blended families. I see like Modern Family where they have, blended families and it's fun and it's great. But I can't really think of a film where you see that with people of color, with Black people. And I wanted to show something positive, that blended families can be positive within a Black family dynamic.
Absolutely. And I think that's super important and kind of segueing into Bubbly Brown Sugar. I feel like along those lines, this is, you coined it a modern fairy tale. And
Mhm.
so I absolutely got all like the whimsical, the magical, the fateful feels. What do you think is the importance of, these stories, especially Black love stories being told through these lenses when that's not typically the case?
Oh my goodness. I think that, especially now more so than ever, art can reflect life, but art can also shape it. So right now we are bombarded with so many images of like, I don't think they're very positive. This whole like men versus female, and it's just really weird right now.
Weird for sure. Weird is the. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not used to it. I didn't grow up like that. Like the guys, like when I grew up, were nice to us, and so there is that. But I want to show that what you feed your mind is really important. We can have like we see the trauma, the pain, the heartbreak, but we also deserve like the happily ever after. And what you feed your mind, is important. It can definitely make impressions.
Absolutely. And I think this is so important. I know there was a moment where like Black love in film on television wasn't quite like, there was always some seed of trauma in it. Like,
Hmm.
we loved Queen and Slim, but Lord, did it really, like, could we just get a love story that's just love? Like,
Yes, yes.
always got to be trauma when it's with us. So
Right.
absolutely love that. And that was why Bubbly Brown Sugar was so refreshing to me. So if y'all have not tuned in, you can get it on YouTube, you can get it on Tubi, you can get it on all the places. You can go Google it. It's gonna show you all the places where you can find it. Such a
Yes.
so right after you watch Blended Christmas, go on ahead and toast Bubbly Brown Sugar in there as well. And you can see, where exactly to find all of Tamla's work on the little ticker at the bottom of the screen. But
Yes. Yes.
I love that. Okay, so we also chatted about this briefly on the carpet, but you talked to me about moving Soul Kisses Productions from New York to Atlanta, which most would look at New York and LA as like the places to be for film and TV. Obviously, Atlanta is growing, but like still, we think about those as like the hot spots. Why Atlanta? Why here? Why now?
God.
Good answer.
So when I did, Blended Christmas, my manager was here. The producers that I was meeting were all in Atlanta. We shot the film in Atlanta. The producer was in Atlanta. So I was just like, but aside for that, I just felt this call that it was time. And I don't know if you've ever received that momentum or that nudge from God to do something. Oh, it was so insistent. I was like, okay, I'm moving as fast as I can. So that was it. Everything was pointing me in this direction. So I just obeyed.
I love that, and I do believe again we had a blast at the extravaganza, and
Thank
I do feel like
you.
Atlanta welcomed you with open arms. We're excited to see what else you do here. Do we think we'll be able to see some Easter eggs, some Atlanta Easter eggs in the movie?
What do you mean Atlanta Easter
Like
eggs?
anything we're gonna see and be like, "Ooh, that's definitely Atlanta. Ooh, that's old forward." Like any of those, but I know you're new here, so maybe you don't even know. You might see it and be like, "Girl, that's Georgia, ain't it?"
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
We did have, we didn't do a lot of like exterior shots. So
Got you.
no.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, and speaking of exterior, so we didn't get to watch the film, so I'm not even gonna lie. I was gonna get up here and flex on y'all that I was able to see the film before y'all, but we weren't able to see it at the premiere party. But we did get some beautiful stills, and I mean from set design to like color to lighting, all of it was just amazing to kind of get a hint at. What do you think? And being a part of the production, you can kind of talk about your general experience on a set, a Christmas movie set as well. Like, why do you think those things are so important for a Christmas film?
Oh my goodness. So you're creating a world with any kind of storytelling in general, right? And for me, in this story, I wanted it to feel beautiful in the midst of a situation that's very chaotic. Like I can't imagine getting ready to go to my honeymoon and then having to cancel it because my partner's ex-wife is
Whew.
like, like
What I say, you a better woman than me?
it's like, God, don't let that happen. But like, so I wanted to show the contrast of, this beautiful, lighthearted energy in the midst of something that's very heavy and very real. So it was important to me to show that, to keep it light, because that kind of that topic could have been totally directed another way. It could have been very dramatic, and simply by changing the color and the lighting design and how it looked, it could have been a different film entirely. You know.
Absolutely. And I think that gets into all, the cinematography of it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We won't bog the folk down with that because we want the tea. And I feel like this is a great question we have from our live audience. And it kind of ties into what you were just talking about. And I know we chatted about this in our obviously incognito version of the show before we went live. But how important is it for us to create things that we want to see that may not exist, especially with, not as many Black love stories and shows and characters written by Black people, true to us? What does it look like for you? How important is that?
I think it's the most important. And I know that we have the narrative that, oh, Hollywood is controlled by a certain amount of people and they're the gatekeepers. I think that we should release that and create the stories that we want to tell, and trust that God will provide the right people, the right partnerships to make it come to pass. And I say that as someone that is living that and experiencing that manifestation. It is so important. And I think that art is such a powerful tool. It can be used for good and it can be used for bad. And I think now more so than ever, storytellers and artists need to take their rightful position and do what they're called to do to save the world.
No, literally, like not even being. We're so serious. Like, get on your Zoom. Like, yeah,
Everyone
yeah,
needs to get in their position because it's time. It's very serious right now. So
absolutely. And I think in a world where like storytelling in itself, I feel like social media and storytelling, what we see on TV, what we see on social, has been like the brunt of what we know and how we look at things, it is so very important that with Black stories being on TV, we're the ones telling them. They're true to us. They're authentic. But also too, like they're being told in a way that is not harmful to our community. They're not detrimental. It's not always Black trauma. It's not always misrepresentation. Like we get those positive portrayals of Black male paternal figures, or like Black maternal figures. So
Not
absolutely love it.
I just want to chime in really quickly, not to like talk badly about anything, but there's a show where people are popping the balloons and they're critiquing each other about why they're not good enough. Now, if I was a 15 or 12-year-old girl watching that, that may be my only, vision of what my interaction with men will be like. Oh, I have to be perfect in order to receive love. And the vice versa for men. Like I have to, be perfect in order to receive love. So I think it's so important that we just combat what we're seeing so that people have other impressions and other ideas of what love is, what it means to be a human being here on earth. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's so important. And we thank you for the work you're doing, because come on, spearhead it. Start us off. Be the change you want to see. It's giving.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so I know you touched on this a little bit before we kind of segue. There's like this autonomy for independent, or an autonomy in independent filmmaking versus collaboration with a network or production company. And so this project, like you had to let go of the reins. Like you didn't have a $10,000 budget that you raised yourself. So it's like, if I want unicorns in this movie, unicorns gonna be in this movie. Like had to tone it down a little bit. We had to, partner with, the production company, and then of course the streaming platform to kind of make it this cohesive and collaborative vision.
Mhm.
How was that for you? Because this is your first feature, going to a network. So like, what was that like for you? How did you kind of cope without the drama? But how did you cope with, picking and choosing and giving and taking, all the things that comes with like the business of the industry and storytelling?
So one thing, that money goes by real quick. Like sheesh, and then two, I had to pick and choose my battles, as a first time network writer that also got to direct. I knew there were moments where I kind of had to like, okay, like play the game, like you have to freaking play the game. So I knew where to like be quiet and listen, because I also am learning. Like there's a lot that I did not know at this level. So I knew when to just, listen to someone that was more experienced, the producer, and allow them to, take the reins. But when it came to what I could control and what I could, have autonomy over, I ran with it. I ran with it 1,000 miles per hour,
I love that. Absolutely. Wow. And I feel like, especially as Black women in the industry, I feel like there's a lot of give or take and compromise and things. So I think it's important, and very beautiful that you were able to hold on to some things. And like there were some things where it's like, this is me. And as we watch the film, like we're gonna be able to be like, yeah, like okay, this is a BET plus, the triumph. But this is also very much like Tamala Baldwin, and it's so production. So super excited to see you remain true to you and your style of storytelling within this film. So again, if y'all haven't seen Bubbly Brown Sugar, you can go ahead and binge that before you get to Blended.
Yes.
I did. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I started Bubbly Brown Sugar for research purposes, and then
I do want to say one thing that I did have to change. If you watch my work, even though it's about God and spirituality, I'm a very sensual person. I've also been abstinent for 11 years, but I'm very sensual.
Hey.
And so in Blended Christmas, I had to tone down a lot of my like sensual moments because it's a family Christmas movie, and I'm like, kids see their parents, they should see their parents, being frisky. But that was something that I was like, they took out all my little puns.
It sounds like we're keeping it cute for Blended Christmas. Yes. Okay. You can go get if you want steamy, go watch Bubbly Brown Sugar. They got it all in there, okay?
It's really hard for me to like have a really, really cookie cutter, like I always have some kind of like pun. And
Do
I
you
was like,
think you'll see
dang.
it, like, anywhere like it's slipped past the folks and they don't know that it's like
Yes, yes.
okay, okay. I'm gonna be looking for it and I'm gonna just like email you like Tim, I got it, I got it. I love that. Okay. I think I would because we're gonna wrap up here. Thank y'all so much for your patience. Thank you for dropping questions. If you have any last minute ones, go and drop them in the chat. But I want to know, like, what was your favorite scene or your favorite part of this production that like you are excited to see come to life on screen and for people to digest?
Mm. I love the relationship between the married couple with April and Michael, or Jennifer Freeman and Anthony Dalton. They are the couple that I aspire to be. They're in a very stressful situation, right? And we get to see moments where the husband does express his frustration and also leans on his woman. And I write that intentionally because sometimes I feel like men have a hard time expressing themselves, like when they feel, stressed out or they feel sad or overwhelmed, and they just kind of like take it. So I really want to show Black men, that it's okay to like, to have us hold space for you by you, sharing with us. And so I love those moments where April is also holding space for her rock and vice versa.
I love that. And then I know you're mentioning like the character names, but you've got some heavy hitters as far as like the folk playing these characters. Tell us about what that looked like. How were you or how involved were you with that process and seeing like these characters? Did you write any with anybody in mind? Like were any fun stories when it comes to casting and what that looks like?
So I just want to give you a little bit of the backstory about how this all came to be. So this is why I say it's God's timing and God's plan, because in 2022 November, right around Thanksgiving, I'm sitting on my butt, scratching my booty, not doing anything. I get a call from my manager saying there's a producer that wants a holiday film. And I don't know what happened before me, but he was looking for a holiday film and he wanted to shoot it in January, February. He read mine and said, okay. And so imagine like Thanksgiving, we're all kind of like, clocked out for the year. And then all of a sudden it's like, Tamala, go, go, go. You have to cast a movie, do pre-pro, and get ready to film at the end of January. So what I have like 7-8 weeks to prep.
Got Stephanie
Which
scratching butts to booked and busy real quick.
it was the most crazy thing I've ever done. Because even like with my independent stuff, I always allow myself minimum 3 months to 6 months of pre-pro. Um, and so I did this in less than like 2 months. And so when it came to casting, I had a short list of actors, but I kind of allowed the producer to make it happen because we were like there was a deadline. So, and I was so honored that Jennifer Freeman and Victoria Rao and Anthony were available and able to do it and Dream Doll, so yeah.
Heavy hitters. Y'all
Yeah.
gotta go. If you're not gonna binge watch Bubbly Brown Sugar right now, at least go like snoop on the IMDb to see the the log line. I mean, just I'm super excited. Again, very upset that I couldn't gloat at y'all that I watched it first, but it's okay. I'll be watching it along with y'all on December 25th, which is when it will be released. BT Plus. So if you got to get your free trial, y'all know how y'all do. Wait until the day before. So if you need to rewatch it, you got time to do it. Tamla, oh my goodness, this was great. I'm so excited. I am so excited to see Blended Christmas. I'm so excited to see what else comes out of ATL, Tamala.
Yes.
What's next? Is there anything we can look forward to? Where can we follow you? Give us all the things.
Yes, so I'm launching a nonprofit in 2025 called the Becoming Love Project. And it's
Oh, okay.
about teaching people how to use storytelling as a way to heal. Because I mentioned that writing the ending that I want is how I shape all of my movies. And I want to gift that experience to other people because it helped transform my life in such a profound way, writing these stories where I'm just playing my imagination, imagining what it would be like to have, the love of my life still here with me and so forth. So I want to show other people the power of storytelling as a way to heal and move past their heartbreak and their trauma. I'm also going to be pitching more projects and writing. So keep in touch with me on that, Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, I know we dropped it on the screen, but give us a drop on where we can find you, all the handles, all the tags, all the websites, because I don't know about them, but I'm a fan. I'm
I'm a
a
fan
fan. So I
too.
want all the things. So let us know where we can find you. And aside from Blended Christmas this Thursday, Christmas Thursday, Christmas Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday.
We know what day Christmas is. When Christmas, you wake up and it's good. Then you go, yeah,
Yes.
Christmas is available on BT Plus. But tell us, where can we follow you? Where can we see all the things?
You can find me across Facebook and Instagram and pretty much all social media at Tamala Baldwin, and also my production company, Soul Kisses Productions.
I love it. We cannot wait to watch Blended Christmas. We cannot wait. Listen, I might go rewatch Bubbly Brown Sugar just because like
Thank you,
on their
girl.
bite size, they got like I mean, I think that was the factor in me binging it. I was like, they're not that long. I can just eat them all, and I mean, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can't wait to see what else you do. And remember, y'all, this Wednesday, Christmas Day, Blended Christmas on BET Plus. You don't want to miss it. So make sure you add it to your roster. Tamala, thank you again for being with us. And y'all, thank you so much for watching yet another episode of In Creative Color. So as I mentioned, one of the stars that Tamala has in her film is Lamar K. Cheston, who will be joining us next month to chat with us on all things Lamar. So make sure y'all stay tuned in. Thank y'all for tuning in today. Sorry we were late, but we were here. Thank y'all and enjoy and have a Merry Christmas. Don't forget to watch Blended. We love y'all. Bye. Hey y'all, I am Jasmine Bunch, but now and forever to be known as your fave, JazzonFire. And I am one of the newest hosts of the Sunday Craft Chats. Catch me every fourth Sunday hosting In Creative Color. Can't wait to see y'all there.